air sweep. So there's just one screw in the back, and then pull it off.
Okay.
And then I just like to stick it right. Actually, I'm not going to do that because it might run into it. We'll stick it over here. On this machine, we've got this kind of air sweep. On the other one, we've removed it and replaced it with just a metal cone. These work a little bit better, but they're fussy. People burn them up. They get snagged on things. You don't have quite the clearance. So, but we want that fully out of the way because when we're doing the glasses, this gets significantly closer than it would kind of normally. And because of the fixture and it not being sort of one flat plane of material, there's all sorts of shit for it to like run into and get snagged up on. So it's easier to just pull it off. And the air sweeps are primarily for blowing debris out of the way, like dust and little bits of cardboard. When we're doing a glass, that's not really an issue, right? So let's grab the rotary axis. All right. And so to install, there's the mechanical installation and then the kind of wire hookup. So we've got these two little bosses, or two little kind of standoffs.
Oh, yeah.
And these just fit into the two slots on here. And you gotta kind of wiggle it back and forth until you heard that kind of thunk, because it'll feel like it's in place, but it's actually up. So you just kind of want to rock it until it falls down into those slots. And those have already been installed and adjusted, so those are correct. Unless you come over here and it's super loose, and which is pretty unlikely, you're good to go. We want to take this and we punch it right into here. Okay.
Nice.
And you'll notice on here, right, once we get this in, we're going to do some calibration on it. And I wrote the Y dimension, or the Y location, which is the center point on here, right? The X is always going to change because, or the X can always change because your glass might be a different length. But the center line on this is always going to be the same, so I just wrote it on. Excuse me, just wrote it on there so we always have it. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we are going to go into our, usually let's do this first. Sometimes I do this kind of while we're in Illustrator, but I think it might be more effective to do it separately. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and turn this on.
What did you press?
Just a little power button. That's why we built these, because people will often try to hit this power button, but then they also mess with these other buttons, which screws up the machine.
Oh, so actually the seat height?
Yeah, you can move the bed. And so people were kind of adjusting that, and then all of a sudden we had machines that were way off. Let's go to System. No. Where do I go? Settings. And then we're going to go to Fixture Type. It should be letting me. It's probably because it's still.
It says door open.
Okay, so we're on. Now you're recording a video, so I'm going to be super nervous while I don't get this right, because we should be able to select the fixture right there. So I'm actually going to close this out. And let's try going in through this guy opening the file. So we're going to, these are the two glasses?
Yep.
Let's open Jerry's glass. So that's fine. Close. All right. So let's see if we do print. Let's see what happens here. This computer's been really slow today. Print. Okay. So you'll notice that this is showing us 24 inches by 9.4. That means it's already sort of knowing that that we've got the rotary axis in here. Right, because 24 is still our length, but then 9.24 inches in width, that is already clearly constrained to the diameter of this glass.
Or circumference?
Circumference of the glass. So, but if we go into our setup, continue, then we go into our printer stuff. Right here, down under fixture, we can say, I've got the rotary fixture.
Yeah.
My diameter is
9 point.
No, so the diameter on
Oh,
these
diameter.
is 3.5, I think. It's 3.
Okay.
So if we just punch in 3 inches down there, apply. So now, and then
The material thickness is correct?
the material thickness you just want to leave as a default,
Okay.
or you just leave it as it says, because we're not actually cutting through it.
Yeah.
So this is just gonna. If you
Okay.
mess with that,
As
what
long
I've-
as it knows the material.
What I found is I tried to say, actually, I want to etch a little bit deeper, so I'm going to lie to you and tell you that you have a thicker material,
Yeah.
and then it like ran into the glass
Oh,
because
gotcha.
it was like, I don't. It didn't actually run into it. It just throws an error and it says, I can't do that. I'm too close to the fixture. So just if you need to bump up your power or anything, do it over here
Yeah.
or do it in manual control
Yeah.
and leave the thickness alone.
Okay.
I will lie about thickness when doing like woods and cardboards because
Yeah.
that's an easy way to get it to give you stronger settings.
Yeah.
But apparently on the rotary axis it gets mad at
Okay.
us.
Okay.
Right. And we're gonna do soda lime glass because if you bought lead, we would
No.
be sad.
Yeah.
I don't want to really vaporize lead while we're over here. So we go okay, we hit apply, and we hit okay. Go to print, and now we'll see 9.42 is still there. So if we print that through,
Should fire this up, right?
now when we pull it in, we'll see we've got that 9, we've got that dividing line. And we use I'm going over some of this because Anthony hasn't done this before, but like the earlier versions of this, we centered everything. And then what we found is to do wraps, that became really difficult. Like when I did yours, I had to like line up the letters just right.
And then some
So-
student
and then
was
she was like, "Why don't you just put them next to each other? It's fucking round." And I was like, "Oh yeah." So we just moved them apart, and then they approximately will be on the opposite side of one another. So we'll turn this on, and I just want to double check our settings because sometimes they're not persistent, and they won't. I don't know if you've noticed, but sometimes, no matter what. Actually, what's weird is that soda lime glass seems to be the default material on here. If you put in like a new piece of cardboard, load in a new file, it's like, are you doing soda lime glass again? And I'm like, certainly not. But you always want to check that because every time you send a new file, it will not keep the settings that you have put on the last job that you ran. So I'd say, okay, these all look good. So now we're going to go ahead and load our glass in.
Okay. I'll just let you do that so I can
Yep.
record.
So on this, we've got a little stop down here, and then that will allow this to slide. And this is super low tech, right? So we just stick it in here, push it up onto that. What I like to do then, before I lock it down, is I'll sort of turn this a little bit, doing some adjusting on the glass. We don't want to go too fast.
Yeah.
We don't want to, because it'll get mad, right? What we're doing is I'm generating electricity and throwing it back into the motor right now. So if you sit here and like play DJ, you could burn out that motor. But I just like to do this, and I just sort of eyeball to make sure this is staying relatively parallel to this line down here. And then when I am, we lock it in, right? One thing that we got to remember when we're doing things like etching onto an existing object is that this is not precision work, right? You're never going to get that glass in there exactly right, and you're certainly never going to get 9 glasses in there exactly the same way. So you're just trying to get it close enough. So, and then did we push that down? Yeah, we did. We locked that in. Right.
Try to turn on the fan.
Yeah, well, hang on just one second, because
Okay.
there is normally like a calibration that we can do. When I've done this before, it'll sometimes ask us to sort of locate the end of the glass and things, but I think since we've done it previously, it's not asking me to do that. Vector, gradient field.
So how do you know where to start the
enables?
Like how does this know where to start
Yeah,
in
so
relation to the glass? Is it the blank space?
well, it already knows where 24 is, right? It knows that 24 is right where it is right now, so right at the end, right? So one way that we can check
So it's up to the person making.
the file, right? So we would move this.
If Patrick would have put it way over here, it would.
It would be way
It'd
past.
try to etch like somewhere over here.
Yeah. So what we're going to do is I'm going to use our focus tool and just go and say, okay, so this is roughly the middle of our graphic.
Oh, Oh, that's good.
So we can check, is that roughly the middle of our glass? It's a
Yeah.
little high,
Yeah.
but I think that's probably better than it being. And then the only other thing that I would check is actually our top point.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because when I've done some glasses, all of a sudden it ends
Oh,
up
yeah.
on the lip.
Looks
How
like
So
does
we
that-
probably want to push the graphic down
Okay.
a little bit.
Okay.
So I've had trouble doing that, but let's see if it'll let us. So let's
Oh, that's
move this
gone.
down to 17, and then we can refocus at the top.
Yeah.
Where are we on the
Oh,
glass?
yeah. You're past
Looks
the lip now.
reasonable. And
so
do you want
if
to
we
do the
did
bottom?
this as the middle,
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a little low.
then this is the bottom.
Nope.
No.
Oh yeah, that's not working at all.
Okay. So it has to be resized, huh?
maybe like
No, let's just-
17.5.
So let's do.
I think 17 was too low.
17.5.
Yeah.
So let's check top.
That looks. I think that's good.
Do we want to move it
Do you
down
want to try the
tiny
bottom?
bit?
Do you want to check the bottom?
Sure. And then this is the bottom.
Ooh, that's not gonna work. Maybe it's a little too big, huh?
We have to. Can you scale it down in this app, or do you have to do it back in?
Yeah. I
Illustrator?
don't know if we can scale in here. Relocate. No. So let's go back to Illustrator. And let's take this and this. And we will scale it to center. And let's make this height. Oh, okay, got it. Width is this one. So let's make this 4.5.
Yeah.
And actually, no, we're going to do these independently. Right? Whoop. Oh,
Oh, do you think that would matter?
yes.
It would. Oh, good. I just covered it up.
Where is it?
Hey, look, there's. I could redo mine. I saw my name.
Yeah,
Oh,
yours
yeah.
yours is in here too. A bunch of them are in here. So, all right, great. So we'll get out of there. I'm going to group these together. Why is this? So this. What? Are these already grouped?
Stokesbury Farm is just one. That's just one text box. It's not three. It's not two text boxes.
Okay. So I just want to do this, and then we can make this from the center of itself. We'll make it width. Maybe we'll drop this down to
5 or something.
5.75. And then this is probably
That's probably fine. Yeah.
We'll just do this. Oh. Just make sure that. Whoop, that did not work.
I think you have to do this side. Maybe.
No, because we still want to center
Oh.
it this way. It's that we've got. It's that this has got a bunch of extra stuff,
Yeah.
right? Like it's actually out to. It's that tall.
Mm.
So I think what we'll do is we'll just kind of eyeball this.
Yeah, that's probably fine.
Does that seem
Seems
more
reasonable.
accurate to the center?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we'll reprint this.
Oh, so you have to resend it again.
Yeah. So now we'll go in here. So let's check bottom. We still might need to move this one.
It's.
It's
Top.
kind of close.
That's pretty close. I think it would fit though. It's definitely on the flat.
It'll take up the entirety of the glass.
Well, then do we want to just make it smaller and center it on that glass?
Yeah.
So if we made the whole thing 3 inches, and we'll unlock. Oh no, we do still need to do that. So we'll do this. This is the one we need to change. So we change this to 3 inches. That seems really small. But
Right.
it's not
Yeah.
because the glass. It's just that we've got no
Yeah.
scale here,
Yeah.
right? So actually, I think what we might want to do. Let's do this. I'm going to make a new layer called guides. So we're going to go in here. And we're going to say, I'm going to have you help me find the
Yeah.
top of the glass. Just where that lip,
Okay.
right? Because we want to be
Yeah.
beyond, we want to be lower than that.
Yeah.
So keep going.
Keep
Watch
going.
out, I'm going to hit it.
Yeah. You could go a little. What are you trying to find? Where the lip begins?
Yeah.
It could go. You could go a little to the right even.
So a tiny bit to the right.
Yeah.
All right. So let's just do a pen.
It's actually, just like half a centimeter probably.
Well, so this is at 21.5. So
Yeah.
I figure we'll just call it 21.5.
Yeah, that's
So
fine.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag a guide and put it at 21.5.
Yeah.
Then we'll go back in here. And we'll say, where's the bottom? And again,
You
not,
don't-
the
you
full
don't-
not the full bottom,
Yeah,
right? Because we
don't
still
wanna
want to give it a little bit of room.
You don't want to go any lower than where you are now.
So
That's
so
that's
17. So
yeah.
we'll call that 17.75.
okay.
And that'll give us, so over here, and we'll go 17.75. Now all of a sudden, this is where our graphic needs to fit.
Yeah.
So if we do this, and we say go to the center, and we actually just need to make it fit inside that.
There you go.
Right, there we go. So that's fitting inside. Do that to center it up. And then we'll do this centered up as well. Again, just sort of visually. So there we go.
Nice.
Right? So now everything should fit within the parameters that we need to give it.
Check all of this up.
Sure. Right, so now this, and let's just double check again. Somebody tell me, are we good on the bottom?
Yeah.
Yeah. Trying to see the-
Good on the top?
Yeah.
Okay. So just double check our settings again to make sure that we've still got rotary axis is in there, material thickness is in there. So we should be okay. And we'll go ahead and turn the fan on.
And then press play.
Yeah, but we'll wait for the air
After
to turn
that?
on. And then we can just do our time, because these actually take a while. So this is going to take 20 minutes.
Okay.
How long does it take to start?
What do you mean?
Like, how long until it'll start?
Oh, we got to wait for the fan to turn on, then we'll hit go.
Oh, okay.
And it starts almost instantly.
Nice.
So if we go into system, calibrate the rotary. So this is, right, this is what I've had to
That's
do in the
the Y
past.
that you had.
So this is the part that we forgot to do. So what we're going to do...
2.625.
Hmm?
Yep. That looks good.
How do you know if the Z height is?
I've
probably
got to
the
go
same.
grab the... I'm thinking it's going to be the same. Because it's based off of the... once you enter it, it stays in there, and it's using that little tool. And just so you know, for next time, if something goes wrong and we have to do this, maybe I've got more glasses, so don't worry. But if you did need to do this, right, Y is pretty obvious.
Yeah.
And then for Z, what you're actually doing is you measure it to right here, right?
From there?
From this. And there's a little tool that's got a little notch in it that you stick on there. And you just keep doing it until it's right where you want it to be. And then you hit save.
But it's the this and not the material.
Yeah. It's because this is a known quantity. And then we've told it what the diameter is on this. So it does the math based on that. The reason it has you do this is so that, like, because this is the real thing that it cares about, right? It doesn't want to run into the fixture, it doesn't want to cut the fixture. If it fucks up your glass, it doesn't care, right? It's about saving the expensive thing, which is the machine, and the rotary axis, which is actually reasonably affordable. So we'll close out of that. Whoops. So we'll go over here, and you can hit start.
Hooray!
And then what I found is you can actually just set it right over.